Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight.
Hey,
Kanye
Moo,
West, now known as Ye, is one of the best-selling
Can I get my
musical
first
artists in the
welcome
world. He has also in recent years become a celebrated and very highly paid
Wait, but why Fox News and why Tucker though? I don't get it.
fashion designer. And of course, for a decade, he was well known to TV audiences as an in-law of the Kardashian family. But it's
Why
West's
not?
latest incarnation as a kind of
Who else?
Christian evangelist.
Oh, nobody else will take
It
him
brought
in.
us to his office in Los Angeles today for the interview you're about to see. Days ago, during Fashion Week in Paris, West, accompanied by his friend Candace Owens, unveiled a T-shirt that read simply, "White Lives Matter." The response from the fashion industry and international media was instantaneous and uniform. Shock, horror, rage. There is no excuse for this.
Okay,
thundered the
give
New
me
York
chat.
Times.
Give me
West is legitimizing
6 seconds. I have to piece of
extremism,
that, I'm gonna blow
shrieked
up.
Rolling Stone, etc., etc. What was strikingly missing from the coverage, however, was any explanation for why West did this. What was the T-shirt about? No one seemed to think to ask him, much less to listen to what he had to say. Instead, the enemies of his ideas dismissed West, as they have for years, as mentally ill. Too crazy to take seriously. Look away, ignore him. He's a mental patient. There's nothing to see here. But is West crazy? You can judge for yourself as you watch what we're about to show you. He has his own ideas, we can say that. Creative people tend to. That's why they're artists, not actuaries. His free-form social media posts give the impression of a man channeling his rawest emotions right onto Instagram. The effect can be jarring and is often used as ammunition against him in the battle for influence over the minds of America's young people, and that battle is intense. But crazy? That was not our conclusion. In fact, we've rarely heard a man speak so honestly and so movingly about what he believes. But again, you can judge for yourself. Here it is. So you just came from Paris Fashion Week. You just landed, and you have a lanyard still on from it, and there's a photograph on it. What is that?
It's a photograph of a baby's ultrasound.
Why is that? And that you designed that?
Okay.
Yes.
Why? What does that mean?
It just represents life. I'm pro-life.
Boy, so you wear it on a badge. What kind of response do you get? And good, amen, I agree.
I don't care about people's responses. I care about the fact that there's more black babies being aborted than born in New York City at this point. That 50% of black death in America is abortion. So I really don't care about people's responses. I perform for an audience of one, and that's God.
I'm starting to see why they want to make you be quiet.
Yeah.
When did you start to feel this way? When did you start to realize this?
I really felt like, I think I started to really feel this need to express myself on another level when Trump was running for office, and I liked him.
Yes.
And every single person in Hollywood, from my ex-wife to my mother-in-law to my manager at that time to, you know, my so-called friends / handlers around me, told me, like, if I said that I liked Trump, that my career would be over, that my life would be over.
Got it.
They said stuff like people get killed for wearing a hat like that. They threatened my life. They put my life. They basically said that I would be killed for wearing the hat. I had someone call me last night and said,
You know what? You know how I feel about this? Hold on. Let me back up a little bit. I don't give. The other thing he's saying is, I don't know. It's very political and nuanced. I don't really.
For wearing a hat like that, they threatened my life over. They said stuff like people get killed for wearing a hat like that. They threatened my life. They put my life. They basically said that I would be killed for.
Okay. Listen. I've always said this, always, okay, and this will always remain true, okay. Even if your opinion is kind of wrong, okay. In my opinion, you're allowed to have one, right? And even if you support one guy or the other, okay, people are gonna get fucking schmauled about this shit, okay? I don't care if you get mad about this, okay? I genuinely think the people around him, okay, cared way more about being associated with somebody that has a bad opinion publicly than him and his life being threatened by the public. But they're saying to him that, hey man, you're gonna be threatened in public and your life's gonna be in danger. They're only saying that not because they care about his life, they care way more about them being associated with him because he has the wrong opinion. which I think is a fucking lame. That shit is like high tier gaslighting that happens all the time. And you know what that sucks? That is fundamentally dog shit. I don't give a fuck who they support. Okay, unless it's like way worse. I think, especially since I hate to say it, okay, man, I'm gonna get fucking clicked on the internet. Okay, this motherfucker, okay, was voted in by voters. Okay, so him supporting the guy who won the election. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. Okay, that's like, we're talking like nearly 50-50. He lost the popular vote. Doesn't matter. Okay, even if he lost popular vote, still 45% of the population. That is an incredible amount of people. Okay, that had his opinion. But popular opinion says, say this, say that, and he says something else. Everybody loses their fucking minds. Man, I have to say, man, why do people have to be reminded that people have the right to fucking have an opinion? Like, it's lame as fuck, man. Like, I don't know what is it with people these days. I think it goes against everything they will normally stand for, man. Like, people want fucking democracy, this and that, motherfucker. Some guy says, hey, man, I'm gonna vote for this guy. I support this campaign guy. Oh, how fucking dare you, bro? You're gonna get killed. Don't do this shit. You're nuts. Come on, man. What the fuck is this, dude? Dude, that suppresses the very fucking concept that fucking holds all this together, you dumb fuck. What is your problem?
Wearing the hat. I had someone call me last night and said anybody wearing a White Lives Matter shirt is going to be green lit, and that means that they're going to beat them up if they wear it. And I'm like, okay, green light me then. you know, God builds warriors in a different way. I don't know if it's because of me being born in Atlanta and growing up on the south side of Chicago that,
He has the right of his opinion. If people have the right to clown him for it. I agree. If popular opinion on Twitter and shit like that don't like his opinion, they should clown him for it. They're allowed to. They have also freedom of speech, okay? And people can clown on people for other shit. People are absolutely allowed to clown on him for his opinion. Absolutely. And I will always stand behind this, right? You're not even wrong, but you're not like gonna like gotcha me on this. Like, oh dude, you just got cornered, bro. Because people can clown him for it. Yes, it makes a lot of sense, okay? But basically, if his friends, okay, associate with him, and because he has a fucking whatever hat on, it makes them look bad, they should be forwarded to him about, hey man, if I associate with you, it's gonna make me look bad because I don't believe in that, right? But they're doing all sorts of narratives to make him not do it. And they're doing a bunch of shit around it to make him not do it, right? When they should just be forward about it. If you care more about how somebody makes you look than the friendship you have with them, right? Then you should be forward about that, and you should suffer the consequences if you want to continue in that direction. But don't fucking blame them for it. Like, bro, if you do this, dude, it's gonna look bad on me. Fuck you then. Then cut the fucking links. If you care that much about having the right opinion, just cut them off then. If you're so cool, if you are so adamant about your values and your ethics as a person, right? Then you will cut links with them. If you don't want to agree with them to the point where it makes you look bad, if all you care about is looking good, then cut them off. And you know what? They didn't. They tried to gaslight him into fucking change his opinion to make themselves look good, not to protect his opinion or what he cares about. That's fucking dog shit, man. Dude, that's how it is. This is a black on white, fundamentally problematic. I don't know why you don't understand this.
He made me for such a time like this. It's like with David. He tended to the sheep, but while he was out there, he had to fight all kinds of animals. So when it was time for Goliath to come, he thought because he was a sheep herder that he didn't have the skill set to take down Goliath. And the thing that I have is the position, I have my heart, but the number one thing is we have God on our side. And for the people, even if you don't believe in God, God believes in you.
So you made reference to the White Lives Matter t-shirt, which you brought out at Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Why did you do that, and what did it mean?
I do certain things from a feeling. I I just channeled the energy. It just feels right. It's using a gut instinct, a connection with God, and just brilliance. You know, like as if you asked like Tanya Harding how she did the triple flip or the triple spin. She was in so much practice that when it was time for her to skate in a competitive format, it just happened. Like it happened outside of practice. It happened in the real format, and that's what's happening. Is God is like preparing us for the real battles, and we are in a battle with the media. Like the majority of the media has a godless agenda.
Bro, I don't know what the fuck is happening. Am I losing my mind? I mean, what am I listening to?
Media, like the majority of the media has a godless agenda, and their jokes in that work, and this whole like, oh yeah, he's crazy and all these things, they don't work because the media has, you know, they've also watched travesties happen, just even specifically to me, and just watch it and act like it wasn't happening, and they stay quiet about it.
What have they?
So, I want to answer the white.
Yeah.
I feel like someone caught what I was saying, the comparison to Tanya Harding about the.
Okay, I just think as a concept that something happening and you dictating why it's happening are two different things, and mixing belief and spirituality into the mix is something that I don't really connect with, because maybe I don't understand it because I'm dumb. I don't know how that shit works, but I think this is
the White Lives Matter. You know, my dad is a educated,
I don't understand it.
Ex-Black Panther, and he put a text to me today. He said, "White Lives Matter, ha 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 ha." And I said, I thought the shirt was a funny shirt. I thought the idea of me wearing it was funny. And I said, "Dad, why do you think it was funny?" He said, just a black man stating the obvious. Yeah. And, you know, my dad doesn't listen to rap music, and he's like super educated. We opened up a water distribution center in the Dominican Republic together. He's like the original Steve Jobs, but he was getting blocked every which way with all of his ideas, and he didn't have an endless bank account, and he didn't have Instagram. So all these ideas, he had to like take them back and compress them. Like my dad is the most brilliant person that I know, and we actually have a strained relationship because I was taken from him, because my mom was an actress, so she was a liberal, and my dad would see certain things and say, you know, we should do it this way, we should do it that way, and the people got around my mom and pulled her away, much like, you know, Kim is a Christian, but she has people who want her to go to Interview magazine and put her ass out while she's a 40-something.
So you were because I thought it was funny? Come the fuck on? Yeah, I mean, I think he knows what he's doing. He's not fucking stupid. I think he knows that the initial movement, okay, he's not fucking stupid, okay? He's doing it on purpose. Nah, he's not dumb, okay? He knows what he's doing. It's just like, he knows that the saying or the phrase isn't just what the words mean. It's the movement behind it and everything that comes along with it. And going and saying and having that on a shirt, right, doesn't say, oh, you're just stating the obvious. Okay, well, yeah, that makes sense. But also, forget, like, he's deliberately acting like the whole movements behind these things don't exist. And you should take this sentence at face value, which nobody fucking does. Nobody fucking does that shit. Like, what?
Something-year-old
nobody takes that shit at face value. Nobody. Because everybody knows what it means and the movement behind it. Like, what?
Multi-billionaire with 4 black children. And this is how fashion wants to, how they want to present her. So I know you give these questions, and I give you like these 3-part answers. Is this a cool format for you?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, cool.
And I am following it.
All right.
So you said that your father said when he saw the shirt "White Lives Matter," it's great to see a black man stating the obvious. So, by which I think you meant that's obviously true.
Yeah, that my favorite response, because I kept on thinking, like, you know, people, they're looking for an explanation, and people say, well, as an artist, you don't have to give an explanation, but as a leader, you do.
Yes, I think that's right.
So the answer to why I wrote White Lives Matter on
Can't
it.
say that back chest. Well, obviously people are gonna feel a certain way about it, man, and you can't deny that. It's like we say like Pride Month. Everybody knows what Pride Months imply, what it is, what it does, and you're saying that it's just, oh man, it's just Pride Month. You saying that it's just a word or just a saying is stupid. You know what it implies, and if if you go and say, well, dude, well, everything month, lol, dude, and I did that because it was funny. Or you're like, dude, come on, man. You know it's not just the fucking wording of it. It's all that comes with it. Like, you're fuck off.
Sure it is, because they do. It's the obvious thing.
Yeah. Why
You
why
know
do
what
you
you're gonna
think
get,
that's
like-
so? And I assume the implication is, of course, all lives matter because they're lives, because God created them.
Yeah.
Why do you think that would be considered controversial?
Wait, okay, wait. He's actually gonna say it.
Controversial matter because they're lives, because God created them.
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Wait,
and
hold
I-
on.
yeah.
Sorry, stop that. I remember you said it here.
Why do you think that's so? And I assume the implication is, of course, all lives matter because they're lives, because God created them.
Yeah.
Why do you think that would be considered controversial?
Because the same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black and the vernacular that we're supposed to have. My dad grew up as a military brat, and his family
Wow.
moved around, but they were based mostly in Delaware. And at the time,
I think somebody says it's coherence. Okay, the problem is that some of the vehicle that he uses to get it across sometimes become blurry and crazy. But I think the foundation of it is pretty well thought out.
if they weren't the only black family, they were one of the few. And he would be discriminated against because he was black. So by the time he got into college, he would be discriminated against. He went to a black college, he would be discriminated against because they said he talked too white.
Yes.
And then he played the kick drum in the band. So when he would go to the club and the music was playing, where would he clap his hands? Where the kick drum is.
Yeah.
So it's the opposite of where everyone else
Right,
was
exactly.
clapping their hands.
I don't know
And,
what that means. I have no idea.
This is the most elegant and tasteful person that I know. And when the school suggested like the herding systems, because what they do is take the black community and they separate us, and they separate the families, and the educated, they push this, need for higher education, and us as blacks, we discriminate against each other and say, well, I got my PhD and you don't have your PhD, so I'm better than you. And so my mom, she had a PhD, and she was influenced to move to the south side of Chicago and take this job at Chicago State University. And she told my dad, if you come for us, you'll never see him again. Because, the media ridiculed me for getting the house next door to Kim to see my children. And they even said that I was stalking her and her new boyfriend because I bought the house next door to see my children. And that's how I knew that my mom had said that to him. I said, Dad, they moved us to one of the most agreed upon to be one of the most dangerous places in the world. It's almost like they tried to kill me or something.
I just feel like it's a little forceful if there's like an agreement of like, it's a little bit forceful, I don't have to tell you.
I said, Dad, why'd you never come to get us? And that's when he told me.
Oh, she agreed, and that's
when he
fine.
told me that she was told
She
that.
agreed, which
there's so many things that are put in Kim's head. They bring influencers like no one ever.
Also, I'm just gonna say that how it is. The mother suckers are like gazillionaires, okay? They have property out the fucking wazoo, okay? If they cared that much about him being next door, they could buy the fucking house next street, next neighborhood, next whatever the fuck. If they care that much, they buy. When you're fucking a billionaire, you have a problem, you buy yourself out of it. Fucking period. Okay, there's no excuse for that.
Never know where Corey Gamble came from. No one in the fashion world knows where Gabby came from. These people were practically made in a laboratory, in my opinion.
Huh?
And what came from, no one in the fashion world knows where Gabby came from. These people were practically made in a laboratory, in my opinion. And one of the things that they're really good at doing is being nice and being likable. And what they do is for people that have some form of influence, whether it's an educated black woman like my mother that became the head of the English department at Chicago State University, or whether it's the most influential white woman on the planet, being my ex-wife, they have people that are around them at all times telling them what to be afraid of. It's like not what to do.
I mean, you can say question mark all you want. This is like super insane. Say less. Sorry. That's pretty spot on.
I say specifically it's what to be afraid of. And if you have a person that isn't afraid of them, you know, like a Russell Brand or Candace Owens. Right. It's not that we have to agree with this, but
they're not afraid.
They're not afraid to state what their opinion is.
Yes.
No one is God, and everyone has a...
Okay, listen, guys. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the opinion ends up being. Okay, you're boring. I don't give a fuck if it's boring. I'm gonna fuck. Okay. I think what he says here is coherent. The root idea, the fundamentals of this is correct. That's how it is. When it comes down to likability and influence and having people around you to say you have to be this way to do that and get the places. Yes, this is true. And that's how it works. Like, I don't know what you want from me. Yes, that is correct.
So a conversation like this is a window into a world that you don't see. So if you're
okay, does it mean that you should have the worst possible take on earth and you say some dumb shit like he does on Twitter? Yeah, I'm not gonna show his tweet. Yeah. Well, the foundation is good. What comes from the foundation after that is a disaster.
It drove me crazy.
I'll finish it up and then we'll move on, okay?
That I like Trump. Because think about it, it's me. Imagine me not being able to say what I wanted. What was the point of being famous? What was the point of having, millions of people love your music? What was the point of having a voice if you can't even use your own voice and connect it to your own opinions?
Yes.
That's where the disconnect happened. That's where the, quote, I think wrongly...
yeah, because when you become popular, people want you to have the popular opinion. It's like a fucking cause and effect type of shit. Okay, people are a bunch of bitches. Like, it's like, oh, you grow from being yourself, but if you become too big, stop being yourself because you got too big from that. It's so fucking, it's like a really backward cycle, and I think it's dumb.
Wrongly diagnosed, that's where the bipolarity is. Because you got something you're thinking, but you're told you're not allowed to say it in public. Well, I never actually told people that I liked Trump when he was running because I was bullied by Hollywood, because I stayed in Hollywood and people are like, think about your kids, and I'm trying to hold on to the marriage, so I'm just biting my tongue. Like, there's so many
There's a line, and that line is if you do things that you shouldn't be doing at all.
Watching lol.
Fathers
like,
and mothers
call
that
to action for violence or like that.
Go to work every day, and they're in a situation where they're biting their tongue because they think it will be better for their children.
That's right.
So even me in my position, I was biting my tongue on my political opinion because I thought it would be better for my children. And now you look up, and my kids are going to a school that teaches black kids a complicated Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa doesn't, so they don't teach even Christmas itself, Christ Mass. They don't teach it at Sierra Canyon. And what they do is take all of the celebrities, the actors, the basketball players, and they throw them in this one school and they indoctrinate the kids. So my son's psalm is brilliant. So right now, they're looking to figure out how to indoctrinate him to make him be another part of the system.
It makes
I have
sense.
a choir.
Nah, I understand that. I mean, this makes a lot of sense. I mean, yeah. I mean, by proxy, since somebody's famous, then their children will be famous as well, and their opinions were gonna have a bigger impact than most people's opinion or whatever, right? And he's saying that if they make them and they get molded there, right, then they're gonna become bots and NPCs on the way up. And when they do have a voice that's stronger, it'll only replicate and spew whatever they indoctrinate into them. Which, as a concept, again, I think makes sense, but I don't know the extent of it. So
at my school. So right now, we've come to a compromise, but I'm not finished because I don't compromise. But we come to a compromise when my kids go to my school after school and they learn choir. I sat there with my son and he came and he said, why do I need to sing? I don't even go to your school. So imagine a 16-year-old version of that guy, the 26-year-old version of that.
Yeah, you think college does this, right? But if you change certain concepts to you want them to be a certain way, right? Then you know for a fact that these guys are like going to be famous or going to have big opinions and big voices. Then you assure that whatever you tell them is going to have massive impact when they get there. Do you not understand this concept? It's so easy to understand. I don't know why you're being weird
that
about
guy, where the father doesn't have say-so of what the kids are watching, what the kids are wearing,
If it's true,
what the kids are eating, who the kids are hanging out with. Ray Kurzweil said, we have the information needed to have a human utopia, but we're led by the least noble, most greedy people. There's a solution that can bring happiness to so many more people. I even had this idea about the connection of big pharma to farms by having localized farms. With more localized farms, you can use less pesticides. If you have less pesticides, then you have less diseases. And have big pharma invest in the local farms. And they'll actually make more money. I'm not one of the people that go up and say, hey, I want to stop anybody from making money. The people that make money and the powers that be, I am your true Nikola Tesla. And I'm not even a scientist.
Oh, no, we know that.
What do you think of Elon Musk?
I mean, we know
Do
that,
you know
bro.
him?
Very well.
What's your take on him?
You said that because I said Tesla?
I did, yeah. It's just the first thing that popped.
And that everyone's always like, oh, Elon's got these answers. I think he's a great team player. You know, like I said about Ray Kurzweil and Utopia. You know, in Rome, they would bring all the most brilliant people and have them sit down to the point where their seats had a toilet in them. Like, people would not even get up to use the bathroom. And they would ideate about what society needed. And they'd invent new things, and they'd put it all up on the wall. And
wait, so you're telling me that people have meetings, right? And they're talking about, like, very important, like society-changing things. And these guys are just taking a shit mid-sentence. Like, yeah, I think we should... Like, oh, what the fuck?
Before it was a school.
That's insane.
Is a design firm. And what I would do is pull together all my favorite thinkers, and we'd invent. That's why I was happy that you saw two of the inventions right there. You know, because now it's like, if I had said that before you drank the coffee, and some might joke and say you're drinking the Kool-Aid, but before you drank the coffee and before you saw the 3D printed boot, zero waste 3D printed boot. If I said Nikola Tesla, you'd probably you could have smugged that off. What
is he talking about now? Oh my God, that was, oh God.
I think it's insane for an administration to not use a talent like Elon Musk more. Like, if I was in a...
Kind of true.
Or once I am. I will eventually be president before, in my lifetime. But if I was in office right now, I would be calling Elon every day. I'd have him sleeping in the White House. I'd say, how do we use our platform as the most influential, that's a Freudian slip, the most influential country in the world to show the rest of the world how to live a simplified life. But our country is under attack, and media and industries outside of our country are doing anything to keep it as it was.
I mean, true.
And
I don't even know.
everyone's just afraid. God is love. And I understand I come off scary sometimes because I'm like, I'm going to protect my kids. I'm going to protect my reputation. I'm going to protect my brand. And there's times when you have to pull the guns out. You have to pull the swords out. You have to have righteous indignation as a Christian for everyone that ever.
When he says use the platform, what does it mean? Use the platform. Does it mean like to use their Twitters and shit and their influence to like say words that carry more weight because of their position or whatever status?
Said I can't get mad because I'm a Christian.
Even just
As a
like in
Christian,
social media.
it's like,
their
I don't understand how you can work and be so successful and influential in the music business and the fashion industry, the two most liberal businesses probably in the world, as a professing
Well, if you know how to do it better, why would you fucking spread the word? Might as well just fucking keep it for yourself, no?
Christian with a pro-life badge on. How does that work?
I always think, whenever God allows a brilliant idea to channel through me
Sorry.
and allows me to somehow, take credit for it. I always snicker at the fact.
Wait, hold on. Who told him what?
As a professing Christian with a pro-life badge on, how does that work?
I always think, whenever God allows a brilliant idea to channel through me and allows me to somehow, take credit for it. I always snicker at the fact that with liberals, their main
How do you know when this
their
happens to
main
you?
tool
I don't want to be rude. I don't know.
is, that they use are artists and influencers.
I don't want to be rude to people that have
But
beliefs
then-
or whatever. It's fine.
God has the #1 artist and the #1 influencer as a conservative. So I always chuckle at that. Every time I come up with some brilliant, I was like, could you imagine if, they could have just indoctrinated Ye? The world could have just totally been ran into the hole. And there's times there's battles that the devil had won, but the devil's a defeated foe. Like, for me to have gone from Jesus Walks to you're such a hoe, I love it, that's that deviation.
And when you talk about indoctrination, wouldn't that be the same if they like push like a certain forced religion in school technically towards instead of another? Shouldn't it be like just let people do their thing and don't like fucking force it and whatnot? It's kind of the same thing. So I don't think this makes a lot of sense. I think it's hypocritical.
From the path. So I love that question because I really every time it just tickles me, like that the very thing that liberals use the most of, they don't have the best person at it.
Well, I thought they removed like the certain religion classes in school, right? Where like they don't like back in the days we had I had catechize, which means it was like fucking like whatever the fuck, like you know what I'm saying? But I think they removed those.
I mean, do you talk to other people in your business, who are successful in the music industry, the fashion business, who secretly agree with you?
Yeah, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of fashion people. Tommy Hilfiger loved Trump. Let me see I got to think of all the other Trump. I'm not even going to use the term Trump supporter,
right?
Because why don't people say Hillary supporter or Biden supporter? This is just, I
think they
there's a lot of people. You know what? People in my business who love Trump, businessmen, people who love money.
Here's a molten take that will melt a hole in your brain. So if you mute right now, if you don't want to have a hole in your brain, ready? If the opposition cares so much about people wearing a certain hat, why don't they make their own hat and popularize it to people buy their fucking hat, bitch ass? Stop getting mad at people wearing a hat and make your own hat. Make your people and your supporters wear your hat, bitch. I don't get it.
Yeah.
You know, people love money. People who actually like being successful. And, you know.
If you don't like the red hat, that says, make America great again. Guys, I'm not even trying to be political here. Guys, I'm literally centrist Andy, okay? Then make your fucking, then make your blue hat Biden fucking spread the wealth or whatever the fuck. I don't know, but bitch, I don't know what he says.
Ran into the ground.
What even is his slogan anyway?
For some of the people.
That's not the point.
Subscribe to the.
I don't know what he says, bro. I don't do politics, bitch. Man, I don't know what the fuck his thing is, man. Oh shit. Alright, we can just fucking move on instead.
Yo, this is X on the beat, yo. Okay.
You heard my voice as well.
That S. Anyone knows that boy? I don't know, he's just so soy. Anyone knows that boy? I don't know, he's just so soy.